3 lies that your anxiety is telling you that you are going to be shocked at. And the third one, you're probably going to hate me, but you're also going to love me at the same time. So make sure you stay to the end to understand the third one, to make some shifts. So before we actually get into the 3 lies, one thing I want to really impress onto you is the fact that just because we have been diagnosed doesn't mean this has to become who we are. I personally disagree with the labels. Now, I'm not saying the people that give the labels are wrong, because they're completely right in saying someone has anxiety or someone has depression or someone has this issue. But what I'm saying is telling someone they have the issue doesn't solve the issue. That's my problem. Saying you are depressed doesn't make someone not depressed. Saying you have anxiety doesn't make someone extremely confident. What makes someone confident is actually combating the issue at the root cause of it and actually figuring out, why is this here? So lie number 1 really is that anxiety is not a personality trait, it is a state. You are not anxiety. You do not have anxiety. Refrain from saying, I just have anxiety. This is how I went from anxious to confident. I stopped agreeing that I had anxiety. I had anxious thoughts and I had anxious feelings. That's very true. And so do you. But when we target ourselves as anxiety, that only causes fear and pain, because that then limits us to say, no, I can't do that, I've got anxiety. It gives us an excuse. And if we play on that excuse long enough, eventually that excuse becomes our reality. So the lie number 1 really is that anxiety is not a personality trait. It is not who you are. It is just a state of being that can be changed. Because think about it this way, even if you have anxiety, and I'm not dulling down the feeling of anxiety, because I know how it feels and I know it is painful. Do not get me wrong with that. I know that it is awful. I've experienced it and it was the worst thing of my life, period. Well, other than breaking my back, that was possibly the worst pain I ever experienced, but anxiety was crippling. It really was, to the point of thinking that something bad was going to happen when nothing was going on. That's how bad it got, and I didn't even want to leave the house. Think of it this way. You can change your state instantly. Imagine this, someone gives you £1 million. Immediately, you're going to feel grateful for that. Regardless if you're anxious or depressed in that moment, you can go back to that after you've received them. But in that instant, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Life has changed. I'm sorted. And that immediate hype, once that immediate hype goes, then you go back to the old state. So you can change your state in an instant. The goal is to change it enough times so that you can bathe in the new state of being that you want to be. Is that confidence? Is that happiness? Is that joy? Is that fulfillment? Is that gratitude? And notice that gratitude is the highest state to receive anything in our life, to become anything, because you can't be grateful and angry at the same time. You can't feel 2 opposite emotions at the same time. That's my sort of Easter egg in this video for you. And if you heard the Easter egg, comment down below. I heard the Easter egg, Max, and I am gonna make this my mission to change my state. Lie number 2 that you've always been told about anxiety. If you get nervous or worried or fearful, you still have anxiety. It's not true. It's just not true. I get nervous, I get worried, I get stressed, I get unhappy at times, but I don't stay there. That's the difference. When I used to, and if you understand the spiral up method, if you click this video up here, I explain the spiral up method. So just go and watch that after this video. So just open it onto a new tab. I used to always spiral down and stay there for weeks and months on end. But now, even when I felt the most excruciating of pains, which happened recently after my breakup, and how much it brought out such a negative side of me, that only lasted a day because I allowed that energy to go through me. When anxiety is there, which is just nerves for me now, I do not associate any nerves to anxiety anymore. I just don't. If I'm right or wrong, it doesn't actually matter, because I refuse to believe I have anxiety, which makes me more confident. And that is really where it is. It all starts in here. I refuse to believe that I have anxiety. I refuse it. I get nervous. When I've spoken on stage in front of people, I still get a bit nervous. And then I use nerve calming tactics, my breath, my posture, my self-talk, the few things, visualization, the few things that really help me get through to the things that I need to become more confident at by doing it enough times. Because when you repeat something enough times, eventually you will become confident at it because you are comfortable doing it. But when I'm not comfortable doing something, I get nervous, and I do. But I no longer have anxiety. I refuse to ever accept anxiety into my life, ever again. And I used to suffer extremely bad, to the point of Doing a video call would freak me out. And now I literally work with people one-to-one and on video calls. That's now my job because I love it and I enjoy it. So those feelings, sensations, and thoughts that you are associating to anxiety may not even be anxiety. They may just be nerves, because everyone gets nerves. No matter how confident you are, you could be Tony Robbins, but if you've never driven a motorbike before in your life, of course you're going to be nervous driving it because you've never done it. That doesn't mean you're going to be amazing at it, but you're going to be nervous because you've never done something before. It just makes logical sense. Once you do it enough times, you build the habit, you build the muscle in your mind, the mental muscle, to do it more often and more frequently. This third light is initially going to frustrate you because you've been told this before. I've been told this before. Anxiety's all in your head. Get over it, is what we've been told. Now, that's not what I'm saying, but anxiety is in our mind. Anxiety is in here. We create a negative scenario. We don't do this consciously. This happens subconsciously. We create a negative scenario, which then says, oh, and this is how I used to do it with public speaking. Oh, but then if I public speak, people are going to laugh at me. And when people laugh at me, that's going to make me feel bad. Then when that makes me feel bad, more people are going to laugh. They're going to see me. Then I'm going to get embarrassed. Then I'm going to run off. Then I'm going to never want to do it again. Then I'm going to live in a home on my own and never leave the house again. And we go straight to the worst case scenario. Because when I say it's all in your head, it's not a negative term. What that actually means is it's quite empowering, because it says, if we are creating the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, can we create new thoughts, feelings, and emotions? The answer scientifically is yes. You can create new thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We need to do this subconsciously. That's where the difficult thing happens. Even though subconsciously it's actually easier to program ourselves than it is consciously, I'll explain that in a moment. But when we do something subconsciously, it becomes our being without us even thinking. For example, if someone starts to scream and shout at you, you have a setting: fight, flight, freeze. The amygdala goes into the fight, flight, freeze response. Now, it is your subconscious program in that state of fear to do what you have always done. If you have naturally been a fighter, you're going to fight back. If you've naturally been a freezer, you're going to freeze. If you've naturally been a runner, you're going to run away. And this, I'll use myself as an example. I would always run away. I always would run away. Whereas now, I don't allow myself to fight back. I allow myself to talk it out, because I don't like violence. I just do not like violence anymore. I used to be around it all the time, and it was a bad thing. But I like to talk it out at an adult level, not at an angry person level, like an actual adult conversation about things, because I like to get to an outcome. And if there's no outcome, then we have to just agree to disagree. That's my point of view with it. But when something happens at a subconscious level and we can change that fight, flight, or freeze response to something different, then you will begin to change. Because we always go to what is comfortable. And what is comfortable is not always what is the most empowering outcome. For example, when we get to a new situation, anxiety is actually more comfortable than it is confidence for you specifically. Reason being is you've always moved to anxiety than you have to confidence. And this isn't a dig at you, this is just how things have happened in the past. When you're in a new group of people, do you stand there and do you start talking to everyone? Or do you shy away and refuse to talk to anyone? If you've always refused to talk to anyone, then you've got to actually learn to talk to more people if you want that outcome. If that's not the outcome you want, then you don't have to do that specifically. But if we can change a subconscious program, that's where the magic happens. A subconscious program to believe that we are a new person, we will shift our identity. And you may have heard this as paradigm, subconscious program, habitual mind. Whatever we act out on a daily basis is based on what we did the day before and the day before that. We can add in conscious habits like shooting more videos, like working on the business in my aspect, like educating myself to learn more, to help more people. I can do that. But also at a subconscious level, I must believe that I have the ability to help you, which I do. I have the ability to help people change their life with hypnosis. And if you want to have hypnosis with me and you want a free session, a free 30-minute session, free 30-minute hypnosis session, drop in the comment below, yes, but also go to the description and click a link and schedule in a call with me, because we can figure out where your issue is and we can remove it. Maybe not in the first 30 minutes, that may have to come as of working with me, but in the first 30 minutes we can definitely find out where we're going with everything. So if you want to do that, just let me know and drop it in the comments below as well. Anxiety is a state, not a personality trait. You can remove anxiety and still get nerves and feelings and negative emotions at times. And anxiety is all in your head. Those are the 3 lies that you've been told about anxiety. So stop that today, make those changes, and if you need help, let me know. Ask for help, use it. Other than that, subscribe.